Coming up tonight on Middle Tennessee News, a Lebanon man is being indicted on murder charges related to fentanyl distribution. Tennessee is reporting its first death related to electronic cigarettes and vaping. And the Woodbury community is hosting its second annual Harvest Festival. All those stories plus sports, Middle Tennessee News starts right now. Good evening. I'm Morgan Gonzalez. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News. A Lebanon man is being indicted on 2 counts of second-degree murder after distributing fentanyl-laced heroin that killed a Gladeville man in September. A Wilson County grand jury indicted Jason Dwight Dennis, 44. Under a new state law, if a dealer sells, administers, or delivers fentanyl-laced drugs resulting in death, they can be charged with murder. Sheriff Robert Bryan saying in a statement, "We want to make one thing very clear. We will prosecute those who are found to have sold, supplied, or administered illegal narcotics that result in death to the fullest extent of the law." A total of 28 overdose deaths happened in Wilson County in 2018, 19 of those deaths because of opioids. Contact the Wilson County Sheriff's Department at 615-444-1412 if you have any information pertaining to this case or any other drug-related deaths. Tennessee reports its first death linked to electronic cigarettes and vaping, which causes serious respiratory diseases. 53 cases have been reported in Tennessee alone. Most of the patients affected by this respiratory disease linked to e-cigarettes and vaping are adolescents and young adults. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention and U.S. Food and Drug Administration are working to find what exactly causes these respiratory issues. Woodbury is celebrating the fall season. The Woodbury community is holding its second annual Harvest Festival. People came out for the event last year, and this year is no different. This event is held at the Cannon County Courthouse, where people from all over came to take in what the small town has to offer. People can visit each booth to see what items vendors are selling to the public. Items range from quilts, Halloween decorations, and home decor are showcased to ensure that there is something for every person. Locals also sell homemade food such as hamburgers and pork rinds. This event is more than a local get-together, according to Emilio Rodriguez. Recently, a Walk to Remember supported Alzheimer's disease. MTSU held an Alzheimer's event to remember those affected by this deadly disease. Rutherford County citizens celebrated together while walking around the track. Many enjoyed drawing hearts and their loved ones' names on purple letters for remembrance. Flowers with names on them were also planted to spin in the wind. Overall, the Alzheimer's Walk was a successful way to provide awareness for those affected by this disease.
Support the cause and the end of Alzheimer's because my friend's auntie who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about 10 years ago, and I'm here to support her in her honor.
Halloween stops by early in Murfreesboro. Saturday, October 19th, Wild Goose Chase held a fundraiser based off the board game Clue at Oakland's mansion. The funds were donated to Murfreesboro Cold Patrol and the maintenance of the historic mansion. The VIP guests arrived in costume at 5 p.m., taking a look at various decorations and clues laid out. They watched characters engage with each other and asked questions concerning the killer, who the killer was, how he killed the victim, and where he or she committed the crime. Later in the evening, the killer was announced, and the people who were correct entered a raffle for a $200 prize.
The people that came here tonight are wonderful people. I love the people here. They were all very kind and courteous. No matter how full the bar was, they were all patient.
Construction starts early 2020 for the new Tullahoma Police Department. Don't miss out on the open house to submit your designs before everything is set in stone. The board and mayor and aldermen invite the public to a meeting to review the plans for the new Tullahoma Police Department. The Come and Go meeting will be on Monday, October 21st from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at City Hall, 201 West Grundy Street. Representatives of Upland Design Group will be available for questions and have designs and sample materials. Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News. We've got a Boots and Brews benefit, as well as an event honoring police officers that have saved lives.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Idle hands. They say they're the devil's workshop. But give idle hands a place to go, a purpose, and they're capable of amazing things.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
It started with the original care package, and millions more like it. Passed from hand to hand, across land and sea, to help survivors in the aftermath of war. As we grew, we found better ways to help those in need. Ways to make a real difference, not just today, but tomorrow as well. Be the difference in people's lives. Help deliver lasting change at care.org.
Las Casas hosts a charity fundraiser. The third annual Boots and Brews event for domestic violence and assault is one for the history books. But Las Casas residents are content with having a good time while raising money for a good cause. Around 200 people were in attendance at Copper Ridge venue on Thursday, October 17th to try various food and alcohol vendors. Proceeds go to the Domestic Violence and Assault Center in Murfreesboro so that they can provide free community services to those in need. Volunteers and board members comprise an event planning committee, which brings these special events to fruition. $50,000 was raised at last year's event. Three Rutherford County deputies received the Lifesavers Award after saving the lives of 2 people. Sheriff Mike Fitzhugh presented the awards to School Resource Officer Shane Vaughn, Deputy Sarah Blair, and Deputy James Elliott during the ceremony on Wednesday. Even after his heart stopped, teacher Gary Gannon was resuscitated by Vaughn with the help of school nurse Rachel Buller and an automatic external defibrillator. Blair and Elliott saved an unresponsive man who was not breathing after performing CPR and using the AED. Fitzhugh said it was gratifying to present the award to the deputies. "This is the type of service deputies do every day," Fitzhugh said, "and I am very happy for what you do." Rutherford County's first African American school celebrated their anniversary with their 15th annual Heritage Festival. The festival was held to celebrate the opening of the Bradley Academy Museum and Cultural Center. The school hosted the event with live musical performances, booths, fun games for families, and more. The event booths featured clothing from various cultures, artwork, crafts, games, and food. Families attended to help celebrate the festival and to watch groups perform with music, dancing, and a fashion show at the end.
This event is held each year just to intertwine all of the cultures to come and enjoy a heritage, learn about the Rutherford County first African American school.
When we come back, Ashley Perhack is over in the MTN Sports Den, and she'll have your full sports report when we get back from the break. Stick around.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Idle hands. They say they're the devil's workshop. give idle hands a place to go, a purpose, and they're capable of amazing things.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
It started with the original care package, and millions more like it. Passed from hand to hand, across land and sea, to help survivors in the aftermath of war. As we grew, we found better ways to help those in need. Ways to make a real difference, not just today, but tomorrow as well. Be the difference in people's lives. Help deliver lasting change at care.org.
2 weeks ago, the Blue Raiders traveled to Boca Raton, Florida to take on the Florida Atlantic Owls. Going into halftime, MTSU had the lead 13-12. Asher O'Hara had a great game throwing for 335 yards and a touchdown. He also had 57 rushing yards on 17 carries. Junior Jaron Pierce was O'Hara's go-to man with 82 yards on 3 catches. Senior Ty Lee caught 8 balls for 45 yards. And CJ Wyndham had 1 catch, a 30-yard touchdown. On the other side of the ball, safety Reed Blankenship finished the game with 13 tackles. DQ Thomas had 5 tackles, 2 of which were for loss of yards. Despite the good effort NT gave, they fell 28-13. Next, let's take a look at Saturday's game against North Texas Mean Green. On this first play, Asher O'Hara decides to keep the ball and run downfield. When he's met by an opposing player, he jumps and takes his knee to the kisser. And just in case you missed it the first time, here it is again in slow motion. And just for fun, another time. On this drive, O'Hara drops back and decides to keep the ball and slides to give the Blue Raiders a first down. As the Mean Green try to tackle O'Hara, he stands his ground and makes a beautiful pass to Ty Lee. On the other side of the ball, North Texas looks to make a play, but Chris Stamps comes out of nowhere and sacks the quarterback for a loss of yards. Back on offense, O'Hara finds Zach Dobson open as he fights through the defense to give MTSU 6 more points. And now as quarterback, Chase Cunningham senses the blitz and drops back and finds DJ England Chisholm open downfield to give the Blue Raiders a first down. On this drive, Cunningham decides to run the ball into the end zone himself to make the score all tied up at 30 points. With 4 seconds left on the clock, North Texas lines up for a field goal and puts it through to win the game 33-30. It was a tough loss, but the Blue Raiders gave it their best effort. This Saturday is homecoming, so make sure you come out and support your boys in blue as they take on Florida International University. Kickoff will be at 2:30 p.m. On Sunday, the women's soccer team hosted conference opponent Florida Atlantic University. Freshman Mackenzie Bonham got the lone goal for the Blue Raiders as they dropped this one 3-1. They will travel to Southern Mississippi on Friday for their final away game this season. One player to look out for is Peyton DePriest, who is just 3 goals shy of breaking the program record of numbers of goals scored. In ice hockey, the Blue Raiders played Vanderbilt University on both Friday night and Sunday morning. On Friday, the boys had some big chances but ended up falling 7-3. Goals were scored by Zach Butler, Josh Friedenberger, and Jake Fink. On Sunday, they had a chance for redemption but ended up dropping this one 4-1. The lone goal was scored by Logan Ryerson. Next week, MTSU will take on Auburn University at Auburn. It'll be a big game for the Blue Raiders, so make sure you watch us next week to find out who won that one. And that's what's around the scoreboard. Back to you, Morgan. Thanks, Ashley. And wrapping up on our show tonight, we are done with the show. That's all for Middle Tennessee News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Morgan Gonzalez. If you missed this or any show, you can watch them on our website, middletennesseenews.net. And make sure to follow us on social media sites as well, Facebook/Middle Tennessee News or Middle TN News on Twitter. We'll see you on Wednesday night at 6 p.m.